Welcome. This mini webinar and its handouts are designed to help you engage and grow your membership by holding effective virtual meetings. Many of the tips provided also work for face-to-face meetings. This recording is approximately 15 minutes long. A word of caution. This webinar provides general guidance. Your PTA's bylaws, your parliamentary guide, Robert's Rules of Order, your state PTA's bylaws, and current state law may affect your ability to implement some of the ideas provided. You are encouraged to read your local PTA bylaws and to consult your state PTA if you have any questions at all. Also note that this webinar specifically addresses general membership meetings. However, the suggestions provided also apply to board and committee meetings. Let's play a game. Word association. What is the first thing that comes to mind when I say the word meeting? Is it joy? I can't wait! Yippee! Or is it more along the lines of long, boring, please no? The word meeting is not typically viewed as positive. You can change that. This study was produced by Zippia.com when they polled workers about what happens if workers are not engaged during a virtual meeting. Do you think PTA members are any different when they are not engaged in a virtual PTA meeting? Let's get real. In a virtual setting, we are surrounded by distractions. It is so easy to open another browser or text a friend or turn off the computer camera and walk away for a few minutes. Think back to the last virtual meeting you attended that really felt like it was worth your time. It was probably a meeting that was well-paced, where meaningful work was getting done, and where you were involved and engaged in decision-making. You probably felt good to be there. Let's talk about how to create this meeting environment for your members at your virtual general membership meetings. Running an effective and engaging virtual meeting isn't something that happens by accident. It takes deliberate effort. First, decide if a meeting is really necessary. Then create a plan for that meeting and prepare yourself and your members to attend. And finally, be sure the work your PTA does at that meeting is tied to PTA's relevance and value. Your goal is to make the word meeting become synonymous with outcome and impact. Your goal is to make meetings so valuable that people will want to join your PTA so they can attend. Meetings should be purposeful, short, and action-packed. First, read your PTA's bylaws and learn what decisions must be made by the general membership and what decisions can be made by your board of directors or committees. Do not do board or committee work at a general membership meeting. Don't waste their time. Do not make a board meeting into a general membership meeting. Do not hold a monthly general membership meeting unless your bylaws say you have to. There is no reason to, and holding meetings too frequently can harm your PTA. When National PTA recently surveyed members, they said membership was too time-consuming because they had to go to too many meetings. Instead of meetings each month, find a different way to engage your members and community. Think about programming that is open to everybody, that will increase the value of your PTA to your community. Consider running a town hall on school safety, or a coffee with the principal, or a family scavenger hunt. Think of general membership meetings as members-only member benefits. Members join to support your PTA. When they attend a meeting, make them feel important, that their membership really does count. Let them know that this is how we PTA. Come to our meeting and make an impact for your child. How do you do this? With careful planning. Build an agenda focused on outcomes, decisions, and impact. That type of focus will force your PTA to prioritize action items and streamline routine work. Whenever possible, ensure that the agenda can be completed in 45 minutes because after 45 minutes, you will begin losing a virtual audience. Remember, members are giving you their precious time. Honor that gift by not wasting their time on work that can be done outside of a general membership meeting. Here are some tips to help you do this. First, make the distinction between what your members really need to know for the meeting and what is just good for them to know that they can learn outside the meeting. For the items that are need to know, send what you can in advance of the meeting with the agenda. For the items that are simply good to know, think about whether those items need to be shared only with members or should they be shared more broadly to let everyone know what your PTA is doing and use all of your PTA channels. Do not let meetings be the only way your PTA spreads the good news about what you are doing. Next, minimize the time you spend on routine items that require little or no action by your members. In other words, cut the time your PTA spends talking at your members and allow more time for members to talk to each other and make decisions. Ask committee chairs to provide a written report that can be linked to the agenda or sent out in advance with the agenda, and then provide each committee chair who wants to speak 2 minutes during the meeting to highlight what they and their committee feel is important, and let your members know where to find the full report. Time those reports. Assign timing responsibility to a vice president or secretary. For routine business items and reports, consider using what Robert's Rules of Order calls a consent calendar, more commonly known as a consent agenda. Never heard of this? A consent agenda groups together routine, non-controversial business and reports into one single action item that's handled with one motion and one vote. It can save a lot of time. And you will find more information about consent agenda in this workshop's handout. All the info on the consent agenda should be sent out in advance with the meeting agenda, and members should be informed that they have the right to remove any item from that consent agenda if they want to discuss it in more detail. The final tip for streamlining your meeting is to use a timed agenda and special meeting rules. This may sound scary, but with proper preparation, a timed agenda can focus discussion on the important issues and prevent your attendees from going off topic, hogging the floor, or arguing with each other. A timed agenda signals to your audience that your PTA values their time. Allow 10 to 15 minutes for each discussion item on your agenda. Give members 2 minutes to make their comments. No member speaks a second time until everyone who wishes to speak has their first turn. Ask members to raise their virtual hands or write a note in the chat box if they want to speak to the motion, and assign an officer to keep that list as people raise their hands and want to be recognized, so the chair can recognize the speakers in order. Remember, members speak only to the motion, not to each other. This is possible. All this is possible if you send information in advance along with the agenda so that members have an opportunity to prepare. When you use a timed agenda, make sure members know that they have the right to make a motion to extend debate and let the group decide if they want more time. One word of caution. General membership meetings belong to your members. This is where members exercise their responsibilities and their rights. So if you are using special meeting rules, a timed agenda, or consent agenda, be sure you clearly let your members know what you are doing, how it will work, and the power they have to adjust the process. Also, if you decide to invite non-members to attend your meetings so they can learn more about your PTA, please be sure to let them know that they cannot participate in the meeting. Guests require courtesy seats, and your members must agree to have guests present. This webinar's handout contains additional information. Streamlining your meeting requires preparation for both you and your members. That's obvious. Here are a few tips for doing this. Place yourself in your members' shoes. What will they need to know prior to the meeting? What will they need to digest to be ready to go at the start? Send them that information along with the agenda well in advance to give them time to prepare. Tell them this is how we PTA. Your time is valuable. We will not waste it. So come prepared because we need your input. Think about what your members will need also at the start of your meeting, what kind of technology you will use, what they will need to know, and prepare for that as well. Preparation is the key. Before the meeting, send the agenda, minutes, and reports, and include a link to the virtual meeting. Ask members to enter the meeting early to do a technology check and get settled. For each action item on the agenda, send members background information to read before the meeting. Provide information like what happens if a decision is not made, or if a choice needs to be made, what the choices are, and the pros and cons of each that a committee or your board may have identified. Brand your agenda and support material and your virtual meeting backdrop using your PTA logo and graphics from the Membership Campaign Toolkit. For complex decisions that require a lot of background and thought, consider holding a briefing, town hall, or panel discussion the week before your meeting to give members a chance to learn and digest and ask questions before they come to your meeting to vote. This strategy works well when your PTA takes a position on something like a school budget or bond issue. If you plan to use an electronic voting platform, provide information about that platform in advance with your agenda. Provide a technical tips slide to have up as members enter your virtual meeting with information about how to raise a hand, use the chat box, etc. Finally, before the meeting, prepare an accurate list of PTA members and have it ready at the start of your meeting. Remember, only members can speak and vote at a general membership meeting. Prepare yourself to message PTA value at your meeting. How will what you are doing at your meeting tie to PTA's mission? Why is this meeting important to your PTA and its members? When National PTA surveyed our members, respondents let National PTA know they value their PTA membership most when it supports critical academic needs, when it gives members a voice on important issues, and when it builds a strong, inclusive, and welcoming community. Use these themes as you talk about the items on your agenda. For example, when you vote on your PTA budget, tell your members, this is how we PTA, this budget will enhance education and connect families to each other and to the school. When your PTA takes a position on the district reopening plan, tell members, your voice counts. This is how PTA makes an impact. Finally, as you prepare for the meeting, be sure to plan for a strong ending where you summarize what got done, why it was important that members took time out of their busy lives to be at the meeting, why it was important to be a PTA member and be at this meeting. Tell your members what will happen because they attended your meeting. And if you have invited guests to your meetings, this is the time to send them a personal invitation to join in the chat box along with a link to your online membership form. Start small. Take a few steps. Make changes to your virtual meetings that streamline them, focus them on action, and provide real member value. Build virtual meetings that people will view as a reason to join PTA, that will allow your members to leave knowing that their PTA membership means something. You can do this. Use the tools available to you through your state PTA and national PTA. There is value in being part of the PTA family. Get connected. We got this. Let us help you. Use National PTA's new membership campaign toolkit. The kit contains more than 70 graphics in English and in Spanish, many of which are customizable, as well as the survey information I mentioned earlier. The toolkit will help you promote your meetings and learn how to message your PTA's values. Download the workshop handout in addition to the relevant workshop slides. You will find additional information on consent agendas, virtual meeting tips, virtual programming tips, and links to free and low-cost technology that your PTA can use. Check out the One Voice blog, especially the membership section. It is full of ideas about how to PTA in the virtual world, many of which are great ideas that have been shared by other local PTA leaders. Share and learn from other local PTA leaders. Join the PTA Local Leader Facebook group. Here you will find lively discussions and a robust sharing platform for you and your peers. Find out what others just like you are doing to grow membership and run their PTAs in this unusual time. And let's keep the conversation going. National PTA wants to hear from you. You are the PTA experts in your community. If you have a great virtual meeting tip to share, send an email or short video to membership@pta.org and tell us about it. Or post your idea in the PTA Local Leaders Facebook group using the hashtag HowWePTA. Your ideas may be shared by National PTA so others can learn from you. We are all in this together. Thank you for taking time to view this video. Please take a moment to fill out the brief survey located on this webpage. Thank you for all you do for PTA and for children. We can't wait to hear from you.